What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Vertical MRO podcast. I'm your host, Val Medved, and this is where we dive into the world of maintenance, repair, and operations in the helicopter industry. Don't forget to like or subscribe to our podcast so we can keep on bringing these awesome people to the show. Today, we have a very special guest. Sean Sinclair joins us. Sean is an independent business owner of Maximus Air Limited based out of Acme, Washington. With over 3 decades of experience in the aviation sector, Sean has worked with several prominent companies, honing his expertise in providing economical parts for Bell and Airbus fleets. Sean's journey began as a tech sales rep at Canadian Helicopters, followed by a significant tenure over as sales manager at Aeroproducts Component Services. He then advanced to roles such as BD manager at Able Engineering and Component Services and general manager at both Rotorlink Technical Services and at Aerosmith Heli Service. In 2017, Sean embarked on an entrepreneurial venture with Maximus Air Limited, aiming to deliver honest, prompt, and cost-effective solutions for aircraft operators, whether they manage a single aircraft or a fleet of 100. Join us as we explore Sean's insights and experiences in the aviation industry and learn how his commitment to the quality and customer satisfaction continues to drive his success. This is Vertical MRO. Let's get this started. Special thanks to our sponsors for this podcast, Salus Aviation and Precision Aviation Group.
Welcome to the Vertical MRO podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts.
All right, everyone, you're ready to contact. You're cleared to the Bravo.
The Vertical MRO podcast explores the fascinating world of helicopter maintenance, repair, and overhaul with your host, Val Medved.
Now, line altimeter 3029, approved as requested.
The podcast features helicopter technicians, mechanics, engineers, and MRO experts who share invaluable industry insight, knowledge, and stories that will inspire current and aspiring industry maintainers.
What up, everybody? Val Medved back here with Vertical MRO. Got an awesome guest here today. Quick little description of the feller. He's got about 30 plus years in the helicopter industry in the ops and supports side of support. Repairs and overhauls, multiple line components from Bell, Airbus, Sikorsky, MD, a few to name a few. And now with the parts distribution and a fan of a boxer dog line. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Mr. Sean Sinclair. Say what up, buddy. How you doing? There he is.
Hey Val, how are you?
I'm doing awesome, brother. And I sure hope this is one of our first videos that we get to launch, because that is a hell of a stash you're rocking.
Oh, heck no, man. You have to talk to my agent about that.
Oh, you're rocking a serious duster. That's a beaut. That's a beaut. Yeah.
Hey, I had to do something with that beard, but the beard kind of hid things, right? So I may go back.
I got called grizzled white, so I was like, no, these are signs of success, right? This is what I'm calling it.
Distinguished silver.
These distinguished silver. Yeah, I could be mistaken for a silver back, but I'll take distinguished silver.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Yeah. How you living, brother? How's life?
Good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Very good. Thanks for asking.
You're killing it with this podcast. I very much enjoy this podcast.
Good, man.
I've turned a bunch of people onto it recently. They're like, oh, man, I wasn't sure of it. And it's fantastic.
I'm glad we can keep it light and entertaining. At the end of the day, it's a little bit about like people's journeys and how they got there. And that's that. I'm proud to say I'm a part of that. So thanks for saying that. Brother.
Yeah, no. I'm super happy to be here. I'm honored to be here. This is great.
Thanks, dude. You're like I said, you're amped right now. And this is we'll do a quick shout out to Quinny. There's a lot of energy right now. Quinny would be associating right now. And Quinny would be, that guy's like, he's Red Bull on steroids. So
you cannot match that guy's energy, man. There's no way.
You're close though. You're coming up a close second on his vibe though, brother.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Nice. What's in your hand, brother? What are we drinking today?
Little Woodford Reserve.
Hey, never go wrong with the Woody's Reserve.
Right. Especially because you can get it from Costco for cheap.
Well, that's right. You're down in the States now.
Yeah.
You're southbound. So here, it's the last of my little Gretzky Double Oak. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
But I do have a chaser for it, so we'll talk about that later on the show.
There we go. Yeah, fire away.
All right, these are just great opening questions. I love to kind of throws a little bit of a curveball to the buddies that are kind of on here, because they're listen. You throw a camera, you throw a mic in front of people, and they get a little tense. They get a little nervous. What's the funniest song you know all the lyrics to, man?
There's too many of them. Fun songs like "Keep It Safe for Work."
No, let her rock.
Peaches.
Let her rock.
Peaches, right? President of the United States of America. Millions of peaches, man. Peaches for free.
That's a great throwback. Man.
I know that song so well that I would play it so much I could text or call either one of my daughters right now. Hey, how many peaches? Oh, millions, Dad. How much were they? They were free, Dad. Heck
Nice.
yeah.
What a great recall on that one.
But you want to
Super-
throw back even further? A Boy
let's go.
Named Sue, Johnny Cash. That's a funny song, man.
Well, welcome to the story of my life.
Right? That's a funny, funny song.
I grew up in a rougher part of Winnipeg, and growing up with a name like Val.
Oh,
Yep. I'm like a boy named Sue.
Yeah,
Boy
yeah.
named Sue.
I've never thought of you that way. So
Again, because we're face to face, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well said. Mine probably would be Blister in the Sun, Violent Femmes.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Especially
sure.
when
But like if you were born on a day other than Valentine's Day, what would your name be?
George.
There you go.
Yeah. It was I looked. It was actually a nurse who named it. Actually suggested it to my mom, and I found my old birth certificate, found the doctor who wrote it on there, and God bless if I tried to look for a nurse that was like we're talking 1973 here, man. Like to kind of look for that
long
nurse.
ago.
Yeah.
Please.
Hey, man,
please.
on the other podcast here, like I'm one of the senior statesmen now. Like, golly, when did this world switch, right? So, but yeah, my name would have been George.
Yeah,
I like Val better.
Yeah,
I like
it
Val
suits
better.
you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thanks, brother. So, okay, talk to me here a little bit here. So just kind of, we'll take a quick snippet of your personal life here. So you're relocated down to the States. You're a Canadian fella, and you're now down in the States.
Yeah, came back to Washington 3 years ago.
Right.
Like I moved back to Canada 9 years ago
Yep.
from Arizona. 24 years in Arizona.
Yeah.
And
Touch base
it
on that
was
one,
time, and it was time.
Yeah.
I miss the Pacific Northwest. I miss the rain. I miss seasons. Right?
Yeah. You don't get that in Arizona.
No, you get two of them, hot and warm.
Yeah.
That's all you get. So yeah, no, I miss the area. It's beautiful.
Yep. Well, congratulations, dude. From what I understand now, you got your green card back. So,
I did. That was a fiasco.
Well
This
done.
podcast isn't long enough to go through the whole story, but yeah.
we
But
talked
essentially, after like $10,000 in legal fees, they gave me my old green card back with an updated date. Same
Yeah.
picture,
Yeah.
same number. It's like, come on, you just flipped a switch and
Thanks for your contribution.
pocketed the money. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, it's like I said, dude. It's been. I know there's a time you could not travel out of the States because you're going through the process. I'm glad you're able to kind of now travel.
Yeah,
kind of
like that was a
freely
rough
back.
one because dad took a turn with his health, and it's like,
Oh
whoa.
no. Okay.
And it
Sorry to
was
hear
like,
that, buddy.
so you had to make that decision. Do I run across the border and
Not make it back in.
say one last goodbye? But thankfully, he's still with us, so we're good.
Oh.
But yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the border
Understandable. God knows that we.
because I'm sure I'm on a list somewhere.
Well, listen, you're kind of one of the people that I consulted to when I did my 3 years down in Arizona. So you
Yeah,
remember
that's
that time.
right.
So that
That's
was very
right.
stressful. Probably a lot of contributions to my gray hairs here. So, but
Yeah, and that's been a while too, hasn't it?
07 through 10, and I left Arizona in 10.
Okay, so you've been gone
So
a bit.
14 years, yeah. Ironically enough, brother. Welcome to Vertical MRO. Thanks for being
Thank
a
you.
listener.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks
Well,
for kind
I've
of listening.
listened to it from the get-go. I was stoked to see this one come out.
Attaboy. I appreciate your support, and I know this. Like I said, but my objective is to bring on interesting characters like yourself. I've known you for a long time, and I kind of wanted to have you on board to talk about some of the things that you've been through, and kind of if you wanted to hyper focus on some other things, and we can kind of chuckle along some of the stories that we kind of going on. But generally speaking, you're a Canadian-born individual that moved down to the States. But I'll let you take it from where you need to see that you need to kind of where you got involved with the rotor side of the world.
Shoot, like I've been an aviation bug since I was a little kid.
Okay.
Model airplanes. I'd go ride my bike. There were no security fences at YVR. I go sit beside the runway. They'd chase me off. I go sit outside the hangar at Okanagan until the engineers would be like, "Hey, dude, get out of here. It's turning rotors." Okay.
Yeah.
Like anything aviation.
Got turned on to helicopters at a young age.
So yeah, like I still remember my first. It was a 212 Okanagan 212 stringing power lines on the west side of Harrison Lake,
Okay.
and the pilot shut it down and let us kids because I was in scouts and we were out there, and it's like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Top Gun came out, and I wanted to be a pilot, but I'm blind as a bat, so that never worked out. So my first job in aviation, I worked for Raphael Zur, the late, great Raphael Zur, who started Skylink Airlines. And so I was just a refueling guy at Boundary Bay Airport. And the mechanic said, hey, you should come down here and check this out. Come give us a hand. So they talked me into going to BCIT. I was going to go become an AME. I was ready to rock and roll. I was doing like an apprenticeship program with them. And then it was like summer of 89. We bellied in a 402 at YVR. And I watched this little 3-year-old girl get out of the plane. And I went,
402.
Yeah, twin engine Cessna. Funny little side pods, right?
Yeah, I got you.
I was fixed wing when I started out. And seeing this little girl get out of the plane kind of rattled me a bit. Then, 2 months later, late September 26th, 89, we had a fatality. We had a Metroliner going in Terrace. And I'm like, I'm out. Yeah. I don't want to not know, hey, did I safety wire that? Did I remember to do that? Because my memory is not the best. So I've realized that's not a good thing for me. And then the great Ron Breitenstein, if you know that name.
I do know that name.
Yeah. He talked me into coming and being their warehouse guy over at Piedmont.
Okay.
Then Randy Carmichael called me at Canadian and said, hey, come sell helicopter parts. I'm like, what?
Oh,
really? Yeah, let me give that a shot.
Okay.
And so I was at Canadian for only 2 years when I got called by good old Ted Johnson from Aeroproducts down in Arizona.
Wow.
And he said, hey, you want a job? I'm like, well, I don't know. Couldn't afford to buy a house in Vancouver at the time.
Yeah.
And the houses were $80,000 in Arizona back then. So 92, I immigrated to the U.S. and worked for Ted for, pretty close to 16 years.
That's up in Sholo, right?
They are now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we were originally in Tempe.
Okay. So you got into the parts selling side of the support.
Yeah, and at the time it was Aeroproducts and Heliponents were still under the same roof.
Okay.
Like same owners-ish.
Yep.
Not to get into that. And so we had a component shop. So we were doing Bell components. We were selling Bell parts. It was fantastic. And that was back in the day before, like a lot of people didn't fork out the money for things like ILS.
Yeah.
And part space was fairly new back then, which is a long time ago. So it was word of mouth and whether people trusted you. Right? And people knew, hey, they're Bell Service Center. Hey, I'll call Sean. He'll take care of me. So
Right.
we did nothing but Bell. And I was a proud Bell guy, man. I had the slogan, fly Bell or go to hell. And, it's like, this is everything Bell. And that was, oddly enough, my first introduction to Able Engineering.
Okay.
Because one of the three founders, Rick Watts, would come by about once a month with on a Friday afternoon with a 12-pack of Coors Light and sit and pick everybody's brain in the shop. Okay. So that's where I first got to see repairs.
Okay.
Because Rick would talk about, what if we did this? We did this. I'm like, hey, this is some pretty cool stuff.
So how long were you at Canadian, you said?
Just a couple years at Canadian.
Couple years. Okay. And then at Aero?
Yeah, like with the good old Eric Hicks and, Angie Wells and the whole gang. Like
still kicking around, yeah.
People that are still in this industry. Like this
yeah.
I love the people that have that longevity. Like I've made majority of my friends I've met through this industry, and most of them have been lifelong friends. It's fantastic.
Yep.
So that was my first insight to repairs.
Okay.
And PMAs came in because we were an aeronautical accessories distributor, and that was before Bell bought them. PMA was, most of theirs was product improvement stuff, right? Their flight steps and whatnot. You weren't selling straps and pins and flight critical stuff at all. Yeah. Because they were like, the PMA, that's a nightmare.
Which and today it plays like we had a guest who you worked with eventually down the road there with Mr. Anthony Saenz. He talked about the importance of PMA into our industry when you're at Aeroproducts there. So at Aeroproducts, okay, let's back that up here a little bit. So at Aeroproducts, you're just selling the parts outright, just to kind of as a tear down, refurbish, and then resell.
Yeah. We weren't doing even teardowns. We were distributing Bell parts, overhauling Bell parts.
Okay.
And because we're a Bell Service Center, they were you can't be selling PMA. Yet once they bought Aeronautical, you can sell these PMA.
Yeah.
So that's when I first saw, well, hang on, there's two sides to this coin. And I think Anthony said it really well, that the OEMs they want to concentrate on putting out aircraft.
Yeah.
They don't want to concentrate on stocking themselves with widgets.
Okay.
Right. So that's where the PMA niche really works. And it's a lot different in fixed wing. They seem to be so much more open to it. Rotorwing, it was a tough sell in the early days.
Still is.
Yeah, right. You still have those holdouts. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think it was Anthony that used to say, whatever, an OEM goes to the FAA with this aircraft. Hey, we need you to certify this aircraft. They don't go through every nut, bolt, and washer.
Yep.
Whereas Joe PMA says, hey, I want to make this washer. Oh, well, okay, we're going to have to go through all the paperwork for that one little washer.
Yeah.
And then make you jump through the same hoops.
Yeah.
So to me, PMA maybe has a bit more quality control.
Okay.
I mean, you have your fallouts with everything, but I think PMA is a lot safer than not most, but a few people still think.
Fair.
Right? Some people are still nervous about it, which...
Yeah,
and then there's some people that it's pure economics. It's like, it's cheaper, I'll buy it.
Yeah. And you know what, to kind of get back into that is to be, I think you're kind of going down the road here, and I agree with you. It's a cultural education side. And it just like anything else, if the part was in overhaul condition or whether it was has removed, non-life, there's no life limit on it, and so on and so forth. So you should probably do your due diligence and kind of research where it fits into your schematics of operating. So as does the OEs, right? So that's
right.
That's so my I've been in PMA now since 2007, coming back into it here about 9 years ago. So there's I got some time into it, but at the same time, it's just understanding the due diligence that has to be performed on every corner, whether you're OE or whether you're PMA.
Yeah.
So kind of talking about that going into when it comes to kind of basically supporting customers, do you find it has it softened a little bit on your side of the world, because now where you're at right now and talk a little bit about where you are right now, because you were with Able for a long time.
Not 9 years. I was at Aeroproducts longer. Yeah.
Okay.
And it sort of came about in an odd way. Like I was heavy into cycling, and that's how I met Lee Benson. He's an incredibly fit individual, and we were riding, and we got talking every morning. We go for our rides, and he finally just says, "Hey, what do you think of come work for Able?" Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And I made the jump, and Able was what still is an amazing place. And I worked with some of the smartest people I've ever met there. Like there were some incredible brains there. Mm-hmm. Like the things they did were pretty impressive. There were a few things they did where it's like, I don't know about that one. But man, they did some fantastic work. They still do. And even then, repairs like that became a bit of a hard sell to some customers. Like in Canada, it was a tough sell because of that spindle incident that we all know about.
Yeah.
Don't like talking about it. I mean, that was a rough subject. And when people would say, hey, listen, Sean, I knew everybody that worked there. I knew the pilot. Hey, all right, we won't have to talk repairs.
Yep.
I'm good with that. I just want to stop in and visit. Not going to push it. And I never did that. Like, hey, if you're that uncomfortable, I can give you lots of data. And I would, present people the data. Here's what happened. Here's what we do. We're good. If they're still uncomfortable, I'm not going to do a hard push on you.
Okay.
And that got me sideways with some of my employers over the years, because I was never a hard push sales guy.
Yep.
I'd just as soon, hey, Val, you need that widget? I don't have one. But hey, my buddy down the road does. Give him a call.
Yeah.
And an employer would be like, hey, dude, you could have made 10% off that. It's not worth it. I just did Val a favor. He's going to remember that, and he's going to come back.
You know what? I can proudly say I'm similar to that. Just because if I didn't have it, I'd introduce you to my network, and my network would take care of you. That if I ever got the chance, that person would remember the fact that, okay, I helped that person out. They came back to me like kind of on a gracious type of gracious approach.
Absolutely, and that's the way I've always tried to operate. And it's two ways. Not only is the customer happy, whoever you sent them to is like, hey, I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
And so it became a two-way street. People would, oh yeah, hey, Sean's got one of these widgets. I don't, but yeah, give Sean a call.
Yeah. It comes, and the beautiful thing is sometimes, and the widgets that we keep talking about here, and a lot of the places that we've, like a lot of the cases that I found out, you're the enemy until the one supplier is out of it. And that's the way I've always been dealt with. And it's kind of, it's a funny conversation, but at the same time, all of a sudden I come around, you have this part. Yeah. It's whether it's aftermarket or OE, and whether they call you the aftermarket provider or the OE provider. If one doesn't have it and the other one does, now all of a sudden that person becomes one of your best friends that day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cause you get them out of a bind, right? They're back flying, they're making money. That's the name of the game, right?
Yep. Yep. Secret to a healthy inventory. How did you kind of always manage the expectations when it comes to kind of stocking particular parts, or you just kind of, did you forecast with anybody?
I'm a history hoarder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hoard all sorts of history. Yeah, and I keep logs of everything. Like 16 years I was at Aeroproducts, I would write everything down on the yellow legal pad.
Uh-huh.
I had 200 of them when I left there. Completely full. Never threw one out.
And this is your customer interactions?
Yeah, 100%. Customer interactions. Oh, talk to so-and-so at wherever, XYZ helicopters. I wanted this, boom, boom, boom. Wrote everything down. As well as built in the quotes in the system.
Right.
But I had a paper copy of every conversation I had for 16 years.
Wow.
Did I ever go back to them? Not very often. But on the odd occasion, it's like, hey, man, they were looking for one of those widgets. Oh, Who do I know that had one? Flip, 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 flip. Oh, here it was. August 1970s or 96. Here it is. I'm not that old, but
the other part of that though, Sean, is like I said, we and my wife's a big, she's in education. She's a speech pathologist, but she's always preached the visual learning and the visual recording of individuals. When you write it down, you remember it 10 times faster than speaking about it. So
yeah, and I'm very much a visual learner. Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Very, very much. So I absolutely agree with that. Well, let things shift too. Like purchasers nowadays, I think they just hire somebody that says, hey, here's these part numbers, go find them. Because I can't tell you how many RFQs I get from all over the globe for somebody looking for one cotter pin.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? You lost your employer money by logging into PartSpace or ILS or whatever and sending out RFQs and managing RFQs for a 3-cent part. And so that part of it sort of concerns me with the way the industry goes. Like there's still those operations where the purchasing people are on the ball.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're buying. They know where it's going. They understand parts. There's a pretty good percentage nowadays where they don't. They've just got a job. Hey, I just have to fill these requirements. I don't care where it's from. I have to have certs. That's all I know. Where's it going, aircraft? I don't know. No idea.
So what would you say to that person that just stepped in, that just took that job into the seat, coming from out of our industry, and they just all of a sudden now got hired as a purchaser?
Oh, I'd encourage them to go out in a hangar. Go out in the shop.
Okay.
They want this bolt. Go find out where that bolt goes. Like then at least you have some idea.
Okay.
Of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because if I say $600 for that bolt, you're going to go, what? $600? Okay, well, go look at what it does. And it'll be like, oh, yeah, that actually serves a purpose. Like, educate yourself about what you're buying.
Okay.
And you'll be a much better purchaser. Like, I've always been baffled by the number of companies that don't send their purchasing people to Heli Expo or Verticon as it is now.
Yeah.
Because, like, man, they can make some great contacts and learn so much just by going to a trade show like that.
Sometimes, and I'll add to that if they decide to send their purchasers to Verticon, to any other helicopter show, don't be intimidated by all the bling that you're about to see.
Oh yeah. Like day one, just go out and go, what?
Yeah.
This is amazing. Then concentrate on, okay, well, what do we go through? Let me go find these vendors and talk.
Yeah. My first Verticon /HAI, I attended it with a broken ankle, and it was.
Did you serious?
Yeah, I snapped it like the week before, and I toughened it out, and I put the boot on, and just basically it's terrible. I feel, you're old when you start to feel it rain in your joints. So that's.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
My ankle twitches every time it starts to about rain or snow. But the first thing when you go to Verticon is that you're so blown away by all these wicked ass machines, the show, the presentation of the show, the people at the show, because you're dealing with some pretty high level individuals there.
Oh yeah.
And now when you get there, and then you're like you're starstruck, because you're like, man, you go to any one of the manufacturers of any of the helicopters out there, their booths are loaded with millions and millions of dollars of machines.
It is overwhelming.
Yeah.
I love seeing people at those shows for their first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they have that deer in the headlights look, and it's like,
Yeah.
what? I had no idea. Yeah. Stick around. There's a lot of cool stuff and cool people here.
Yeah. So I got off the track there. So yeah. So person sitting down now, send them out to the shop, get them educated, spend some time to kind of understand what they do and how they perform.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I remember doing that at Canadian, and who was it? The late John Boyko chased me out of the hydraulic shop, and as we up there, get out of here. We don't let salespeople in here. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to learn something. No, you're not. You're being annoying. Get out of here. I'm like, oh, what the heck, man? And I went back and tried till he's like, yeah, here, I'll show you what this does. I'm like, okay, cool. Because the customer's asking me a question. I don't know the answer. I'm not going to make it up. Show me what this widget does.
Educate yourself, yeah.
Right? Because then you're better. You can serve your customers so much better. Like that's what I tell new salespeople coming into the industry. Don't BS anybody.
I think our customer bases have gotten a lot of smarter for that. So yeah, good advice.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like if you don't know the answer, go find out. And not only will you'll learn, you'll help your customer.
And you're being honest.
Yes, 100%. And the person you're selling that part to might be the guy installing it. Might be the guy flying the aircraft once it's installed. Like those smaller shops, yeah, absolutely. So be honest with them. Be straightforward. And you can't go wrong. Like in whatever, been doing this since 90.
Mm-hmm.
One deal I can think of where they went away and were not happy. And I pride myself in that because I'm like, hey, to me, a good deal is we both part ways happy. You got your widget, you got a deal, I made money, we're all happy.
Yep.
You know, I've never been one to, hey, I'm going to make all the money I can on these parts and then be done. No, I'm in it for the long run. Well, people coming back.
Like 26 years in, I've learned that the flash and the pans don't last.
No, never do.
No. So like they could be the hottest topic of maybe the week of or at the show or stuff like that. Everyone's high-fiving this individual, you know, him, her, whatever you want to be. And then all of a sudden they're gone within 6 or 7 months because the sizzle didn't match the steak.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite sayings.
Yeah. And it's so accurate and it's exactly the way it is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Part support it can be, if your moral compass is pointing in the right direction and you keep your parts fresh, you rotate them through. If you're kind of parts provider, as have I been, as long as you tell the truth. And like you just said, if you tell the truth and honestly, I don't know exactly what that does, but you kind of explain it to Joe Operator, they're going to love you more for it.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Well, it's like going to a foreign country, right? You go to France and you're just like, I speak American. I'm not going to speak France. Try it. Give it a try. Pull out your French phrase book. They'll respect you for it.
Yeah.
So same thing.
Yep.
Like, hey, I have no idea. You asked me where this widget goes. No clue, but let me go find out.
You know what? Now that you mention that, dude, last year at that, I was in Madrid for the Euro Rotors. Awesome show.
Yeah.
And most of everybody there spoke English until you run into your Uber drivers and pure Spanish, like not South American Spanish, but Spanish, like Spain Spanish. And I can kind of understand still a little bit from the time that I kind of was able to kind of speak it and read it. And I took it, you know, for a couple of years. And what I did though, is I got that Google Translator on my phone and he would speak into it. I look into it, and I speak it to him and we kind of go back and forth, or I would try to speak it to him. And then he'd kind of understand what I was trying to say because I can still roll my R's, you know, like a Spanish. Great. Yeah, it's just great that a lot. So through, you know, like it's you can roll your R's, you get along with these guys. But you're absolutely right. That's great advice. If you kind of give it a shot, you can talk to them a little bit in their native tongues. You'll gain a little
humble yourself.
A little advantage. Yeah,
right? In all cases, whether you're selling parts or being a human being, be humble.
Yep. Agreed. So no, here we are. Okay, so we kind of we sidetracked a little bit, but
yeah, we do that all the time.
It's good. It's all good. We're buddies here. We're across virtual face lines here, so we're okay. So now you've jumped out of the States. and you moved yourself back up into Canada. You now are with a couple of factions, and just even get into that because now you're into full helicopter teardown and resale.
Yeah. Before I'd even moved, I got approached by a good old Uncle Dave Bahanitz.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I went to work for him for a couple of years, which was great. I mean, Dave's a great guy. And then I had an opportunity to go help out a friend on the island, and I love the island. And
It's my end game, buddy.
yeah, I don't blame you. It's the island's magical place.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Hugh Andrews. I went over there as he was trying to set up shop in PEI. Like they got that tour machine out there. They bought that incredible house out there.
Yeah.
And I'd sort of gone in there with the goal of, I want to buy this place. I mean, this place is magical. It's got a hangar, a house, a barn, 15 acres. You're in the middle of the island. How could it be wrong? And unfortunately, things didn't work out.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I'm not sure what to do. And I can't tell you how many people. In fact, Hugh Whitfield was the first one to say, start your own thing, John. Oh, I don't know about that. No, you can be your own boss. You don't have to disagree about how business is done, how customers are treated. Do it your way.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, okay. So like 6 months before COVID hit, guess what I was doing?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
You started just before COVID?
Oh, yeah. Timing is everything, right? Yeah.
Oh, no. So, okay. All right. So you're back. So now you're floating between the island to the mainland.
Yeah. So I went back to the mainland.
Yeah.
COVID hit. The world went insane.
Yeah.
And not to discuss politics, but I got tired of the management. I love Canada. Believe me, I love Canada. It's the most beautiful place in the world. The people are amazing. The management sucks. So I'm like, I think maybe I should just go back to the States. Not that their management's any better. But
Choose your poison.
Yeah, it was time.
Yeah.
I reconnected with somebody I knew from Phoenix. We bought a house together out here, and life's awesome.
Well
It's
done.
great. And so I've transitioned the company to the U.S. and now just selling stuff out of here, which
Well,
works
how do
out
you
great.
and going into now? So now you're an independent parts supplier now. So you delve into PMA, OE, as removed, OH or overhaul condition, brand spank. Like it's so where does that network begin? How do you even begin to source out parts? Do they come to you and say, hey, I need X, Y, Z or Z? Or
Yeah, I still say Zed. Still say Zed. Yeah.
So do I need X, Y, Z? Or do I like, hey, Sean, this is what we're kind of looking at tearing apart. Are you involved in teardowns? Are you involved in praising?
Well, so I got really heavily involved with a really good friend of mine, Chris Williams, over in the UK. Right, he owns a company called Heli Spares. He's been doing tons of part outs.
No, well,
he's a great guy. And so he'd called me one day, or we were just shooting a breeze, and he's like, "Hey, I've got a proposal for you. How about you move all my stuff in North America? You list it. I get any RFQs out of North America. Other my established customers, I pass them on to you." Yeah. So we did that for a year. And then he's like, "Hey, I got some part outs happening in the States. I don't want to ship all that stuff back. What do you got for space?" "Oh, well, I'll make space."
okay.
So then he's been consigning a ton of that stuff here, which is great for me because I don't have to fork out the money to go buy inventory.
Got it.
Right. So now I've got all this stuff consigned to me, and he has every part that he has in North America. I'm getting all the odd stuff that he doesn't want shipped over there. So I've got a 20 by 20 shop and a 40-foot shipping container and rock and roll. Off I go.
That was going to be my next question there. So
Yeah.
how are the operations there? Like, is that something you have caged and protected storage of said parts, or?
Oh,
Is-
it's all locked up. I got cams everywhere.
Okay.
Because I'm a bit of a paranoid individual, but no, it's all beautiful, safe, and
What?
secure.
You?
Man, yeah, go figure. This hairline didn't come from not worrying.
yeah. The grass isn't thin because it didn't get worn out, right? So
Exactly.
okay. So now you've now taken on you banked on your relationship there with Chris and stuff like that. So now you're able to kind of look at individuals and the operators. So you approach the operators. Do you market on ILS, or we're like?
Yeah, like ILS and part space and the stock market are sort of a necessary evil, I think, because there's been that shift. Like back in the day, not that many people used it. So they had their handful of vendors they tried.
Right.
And now, like I said, a lot of these buyers are just, hey, I need this widget. They put the part number in and go, okay, here's everybody that has one. And off they go. And like, that's what, I guess you do for the hard stuff.
I'm trying to even think back here where it used to be just, it had to have been just all done by phone back when I was. Yeah,
100%.
So here we are in the evolution of
the internet hit back when I fell off my dinosaur.
And faxes, phone calls and faxes.
Faxes all day long.
Yeah. So you get
what I miss about that? Here's the thing I miss most about that is people would call me and say, hey, Sean, I'm having a crappy day. You got a joke? Oh, I always had a joke. And then the internet hit and you'd be like, hey, you want to hear a joke? You tell them like, yeah, I saw that email the other day. Yeah, I got an email about that. And it took the humor out of joke telling. So it's like, that kind of stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I keep a joke book at my desk. Like, oh, yeah, hang on. I got a good one here for you.
Unfortunately, my OCD, I keep them a lot up here.
So do I.
I dropped one on a guy actually today because he was ripping me pretty good and thought he'd be kind of smart alecky and stuff like this. And I was like, all right, you know what? You're like my favorite Slinky. I'm going to laugh when I watch you fall down the stairs. So, yeah.
You are very good with the one-liners.
I can. Well, and the thing is, I got asked, I coach football here locally, and the coach asked me, he goes, can you take it as well as you can give it? I'm like, I have to. It's.
Oh, yeah. Like if you can't, then there's no point.
Yeah. So, okay, let's now go back into, so we've now, you've set up Maximus. And
Maximus Air, named after my first boxer.
There you go. Right. There you go. So now you're solely online. Like I got to imagine a lot of the higher percentage of the business is done through online requests.
Yeah. So much of it is.
Let's talk about how the internet has changed parts shopping here from where it was 15, 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. Like there's so many listing services and the problem with half of them is the accuracy, right? Because they've still got those companies that go, hey, load the whole Jet Ranger IPC. We'll go find it for people. And I think people have gotten wise to that, right? They're like, yeah, you don't really have 4 brand new main rotor blades. Nobody's got 4 new. And so at least well-educated or forward-thinking purchasers would immediately go, okay, yeah, not these guys, not these guys, not these guys. Oh, these guys I've gotten quotes from. These guys are decent. These guys are helpful. And so even though you may run a part on whatever ILS, you got 20 hits.
Right.
Only 5 of them are the ones you're going to use.
Okay.
But there's still those people that check every box and you get a RFQ for a 3-cent cotter pin.
So the moral of that story is, I guess, just kind of do your due diligence again and kind of weed out the pretenders versus the players.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like it happens on both sides. Like they need to weed out the vendors and you kind of got to weed out the potential customers in some cases.
Yeah.
There's those people that just endlessly send you RFQs every day and you're like, all right, where are we at? Like, are we missing on price? Is it delivery? What's the deal?
And unfortunately, parts brokers, they're unfortunately the majority of parts brokers are not in good not in good standing with a lot of people because of that, because they go out and they say, I've got everything, but you really don't.
Yeah, there's a handful that still do that. But you know what? I'll bet you 60% of my customers are brokers. And they're a necessary evil in my mind. Like this industry needs it. Like it really does. For those people that don't have part space or ILFs, hey, this broker seems to be able to find all these widgets for me.
Yeah, right.
Like one of my dearest friends who passed a while ago, Jerry Hilsendigger, he was great at that.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was the one people like, hey, Sean, you know where I can find one of these? I don't. Call Jerry.
Yeah.
He probably knows. He might not have it, but he probably knows where he can find it.
Yeah, he was right in North Dakota, wasn't he? Like in the middle of nowhere.
Bismarck, North Dakota. Been to his place many times.
Yeah. Good I remember he was a solid C-47 provider.
Oh,
anything 407 and C-47.
Yeah, he was a wheeler and dealer. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's lookalike. God rest his soul.
Here, cheers to him. Cheers to Jerry. I know one of the other people that was came from the back roots of that as well too, and one of your good friends, unfortunately, he passed as well. him and his partner set up a great facility out in Vancouver there with CAP.
Yeah.
To Mr. Steve Dandridge. And to him, I pay homage. And like, again, here's another raise a drink for Steve.
So a funny story about Steve. I've got a lot of funny stories about Steve. But the first time.
And please share one. It's the man is and was and always will be a legend. So.
Shoot, he was the best man at my wedding.
Yeah.
So his first day at Canadian on like a Monday, Randy Carmichael's like, "Hey, Sean, I got you a new sidekick. You know, he's coming in on Monday. Well, what's he know about aviation? Not very much." I'm like, "But you're going to like him." I'm like, "Okay." Steve comes in. "Hey, goofy Steve." And I'm like, "What the fuck, Randy? Who did you hire? Like, what? Come on, man.
Yeah.
This guy's ridiculous."
Yeah.
And by Wednesday, we were going to lunch together. By Friday, we were friends for life.
You guys became the brother-in-law. Did we just become best friends? Did we just become best friends?
Exactly. We just become best friends. We're going to build bunk beds.
Yeah.
No, he was a fantastic guy. Yeah, he came down to Arizona. We actually hired him at Aeroproducts for a very brief period. Like I think he stayed for 90 days. And then it wasn't going to work for him, so I moved back. Because I always said Aeroproducts was the best job, man. I loved working at that place. If I had Steve working to my side, heaven. It'd be fantastic. But dastardly duo together again. Oh, yeah.
Well, I know him and Dave, they set up a pretty solid outfit in Vancouver there too. And I know they're reputable and they've kind of like they're and I say this respectfully because it's you're a man of due diligence. You're a man of, keeping notes and keeping accurate notes. And you've kind of pointed your moral compass north of it. And that's the way I've seen that whole crew with Dave.
100%. Like they're super solid guys. Like they really are. Yeah. Like I had a clump of inventory that I bought in Canada and I didn't want to have to deal with exporting it to the States and bringing it down here. So I
bring it over.
Probably 6 months before Steve passed. Said, "Hey, you want a consignment?" "Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll take it.
Yep.
So they've got my stuff. They're selling it, and
well done.
Yeah, no, they're great guys. They're great guys. Yeah, he's sorely missed, that one. There's a lot that have passed. Hills on Digger.
Last few years.
Yeah,
last few years. Yeah, it's
Hills on Digger, Dandridge, Andrews.
Yeah,
you'd met Hugh Andrews, yeah.
He stayed at my place on his pass through.
He's such a character, man. He's such
he pulls
we pour
up.
at 4.
Yeah.
We pour at 4.
He calls me up. I can't remember what day of the week it was. Calls me up. He goes, "Now." I'm like, "Huey, what's going on?" He goes, "Hey, I'm just rolling through. Where are you?" I'm like, "Rolling through where?" And he goes, "I'm just about to pass through Winnipeg." I was like, "I'm not in Winnipeg, but I okay." And he goes, "I need a place to crash." I was like, "Dude, mi casa su casa, right?" He doesn't tell me that he's rolling up with his 52-foot fifth wheel.
Oh yeah.
And he backs it right into my driveway with the front end of his 3/4 ton hanging out into the street. And then we proceed to. I welcomed him. I said, "You want anything to eat?" I think we ordered a pizza, and then we started drinking whiskey salads with a lot of ice croutons.
Yeah. I've had a few nights with him. Yeah.
And he's that one. That's when he was literally moving west to east on their little place that they bought on Prince Edward Island.
Yeah. So what a gorgeous place. But yeah, he's sorely missed.
Going into now, so we're looking at everything here. You've established Maximus now. You've got yourself in Washington State. Now you're back into the sales of all parts said and done. People are now going through that to you. So again, it could be an overwhelming task when you sit down and you actually have to tell somebody the piece of advice. What would you give to somebody coming into our industry, looking at selling and supporting parts? What would you tell them? And take your time on this one because it's kind of a loaded question. And I want to bank on your 30 plus years here.
Well, to me, there's been a shift. There's been all sorts of shifts in a long time I've been in this, but like I said, I was a Bell guy, man. If it was a Bell, I didn't want anything to do with it. And Airbus is king right now.
Oh,
it really is.
They're strong.
Oh, they're so strong. And their parts support isn't fantastic. Mm-hmm. Like Bell's parts support was always bar none. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Best in the industry. Mm-hmm. Airbus's is hit and miss. Mm-hmm. So that's where guys like myself and Heli Spares come into things. Just like, oh, okay. we've got a bunch of the widgets that they don't have stock on.
Before I
Which
let
is
you answer,
huge.
well, I was going to say before I let you answer the question here, getting into more detail, what do you find more caring of, Bell?
No, Airbus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm maybe 5% of what I sell nowadays is Bell.
Okay. I'll let you answer the question. Like I said, someone coming in, and how does one not get overwhelmed when looking at whether they're working for a big company or whether they're looking at becoming their own company, or they're working for a company like yourself, which is a smaller size company. And I say that respectfully.
Oh, yeah.
What piece of advice would you kind of have them sit down and say, like, okay, this is the road to a good career?
First and foremost, be honest. Be honest with everybody you deal with.
Okay.
It's a small industry, right?
Yep.
It's so easy to get a bad reputation in an industry like this. Keep your nose clean. Be honest with people. Like we said earlier, don't know the answer, go find out. And that which pairs into the second half of the advice would be educate yourself. Learn all you can. If you're going to sell nothing but Airbus parts, go learn everything you can about Airbus. Like, if you don't have access to a hangar, get access to a hangar. Find an operator who'll say, hey, yeah, sure, I'll show you where this is, and this is how this works. Like, the more you know, the better off you're going to be helping support people.
Gotcha.
Right? Instead of just being a part number and the price. Like, learn everything you can.
Nice. And you know what? And you're a testament to it. So it's as of like, listen, we've been in this game now a long time.
Way too long.
Yeah. Well, it's given us the lives that we got, right?
Oh,
so
yeah. And like, the majority of my best friends I've ever had in my life are people that I met in this industry.
So when I say this, I say this absolutely kind of echoing to what you just said, and we'll wrap this up here right away. But it's to Sean's statement. I say to listener, if you're listening to this, whether you're starting AME or whether you're a starting parts person in a company that's a helicopter support operator, whatever, if you're in the aviation industry, just take your time to get to know the parts, take your time to get to know the part numbers, and don't be afraid to ask the questions, because it was Dan Taylor, rest his soul. He's been gone for a long time. He's an old Aviol guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. He always told me that the stupidest question is the one that isn't asked.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and he's 100% right. Like, ask all the questions and have a genuine interest in the industry. Right. Like, I had some kid call me the other day from BCIT. Hey, I'm looking for a 2-week work program. I want to get into aviation. Right on. What is it you want to do? Well, I'm hoping for a work from home kind of situation at BCIT. So you're going to be an AME? Yeah. It's not going to happen. Like, they're going to send the parts to your house for you to work on.
Yep.
You're going to get stuck going in the field. Like, but you can have some adventures. Like some of the previous guests you had. Man, some of the best part of their job was the adventures they got to go on. The places in the world they got to go see.
Yep.
Like, be open to adventure and travel. If you're young, do it, man. It's crazy not to.
Yeah. It's not too many times I would have thought that we're the old man in the room now.
I know. So it's so funny. Last year at Heli Expo, I get together with this guy, Matt Dickinson, right? He works for City LA. I've known him for 25, 30 years. And we're sitting with this group of people, and Matt and I are telling stories, because we've got some hellacious stories from Heli Expo.
Yeah.
We're telling stories about this crazy this and this and this and this, and the fireworks, and the cops showed up, and all this crazy stuff. And we looked at each other and went, oh,
we're old.
We're now the old guys we used to like to hang out with at Heli Expo.
Yeah,
they told all the crazy stories.
Right.
Like, we're now that generation. This is awesome. It was sad, but kind of a prideful moment.
Dude, it's
not.
You never take that as, hey, Sean, you and I always have Quebec City, buddy.
Oh, we always will have that.
That's all we're going to say about that.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was a heck of a night.
It was. As are most nights when you hang out with good friends, right?
Yeah.
Always a good story.
Surround yourself with people that are successful or want to be as successful as you are, and don't be ashamed to kind of ask the unknown. Yeah, and learn from them. For the most part, I think our industry, like, there's going to be a couple of older fellers that are just grumpier and stuff like that, and let those people be themselves. But find those individuals that are willing to share the information. Bruce Schellingberg was one of the first inspectors. I think he's still even working. God bless him. He's when I worked at Catarath, he kind of showed me what a sump cover did in the grand scheme of things of a Rolls-Royce 250 engine, and that was the kicker that brought me in. Right. Yeah, I've heard you tell that story where it's Yeah.
What is that thing? Oh,
Yeah. What does it do? And then all that mates up to this. And I said, well, PT support, that's a pretty big part. And then exhaust collector, oh my God, it's a bigger part. And so be thirsty. Be thirsty
yeah.
for
Oh,
for
absolutely.
more. Yep.
Yeah. And if you're not, well, then maybe it's not your industry. Like I did that once with the sales team at Able. It was a pretty young crew, and most of them had never been around aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called my friend Will Barks over at SRP. Said, "Hey, I got these guys. Oh, it's a fantastic guy.
Good dude.
Amazing human being. Yeah.
Yeah.
I called him up and said, hey, can I bring these new sales guys by? Oh, yeah, Sean, anytime. I'm like, yeah, okay. So the freewheel cases that we repair, the shafts, there's a freewheel. And here's this and here's that. And they're like, whoa, this is amazing. And it all went back and they were all like, bah, 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 bah. Holy smokes. And it's like, yeah, that's what they need. Like, just don't give them a part number and a price. Like, educate everybody. Help them out. Help give them that drive for the industry.
Yeah. I got to meet Will just recently. He did me a solid favor because I've become a bit of a pocket knife collector.
Oh,
and
yeah. You and me both. Ooh.
Love them.
What'd you buy?
Well, I got a Benchmade switch. That is,
I like
it's
Benchmade.
Yeah, it stays in the house. It doesn't go anywhere else. But I know to travel with it is you have to keep it in a suitcase and it's in the pocket at most times, but the springs broke on it. So I knew I couldn't ship it anywhere in Canada without it being questioned hard.
Oh,
so I brought it down with me. He said, I can send it to Benchmade. And the man went through Benchmade, got it repaired, replaced. And then he when I was down in the States last time, he literally gave it to my coworker and he handed it back to me. Will, I just met this guy for the first time. He did me that solid.
Oh,
so
yeah. He's a solid guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh, my Benchmade's not on me. Oh, I almost always, I have a daily carry.
Yeah.
Is a Benchmade.
Yeah. No, I got linen shorts on, so that I'll go on.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I'll be at the, like today was for like, we're finally getting some weather here. It's been dry. So it's central Manitoba and it's just, yeah. So it's kind of a nice little reprieve, but getting back into that. So all right. So now we're wrapping this all up here, buddy. And I thank you for your time on this one, but I wanted to kind of just,
oh no, thanks for having me.
Brother. It's about time. I know we've talked about it and I know you're a little anxious and nervous kind of getting on with it, but listen, you're a good man.
No, like I'm following some super talent. Like the prior guests you've had, I'm like, whoa, man, I'm not in their category, but I'm happy to be here.
You are.
No.
Because you know what? What makes you that you are is that you're a good dude. You're a good dude, and you look.
Yeah, as are you.
You're good. You're a good human being, Sean, and you got a solid gold heart that basically wants to help and always kind of want to be helped. And you're just a man of integrity, and you keep up the good stuff. So keep doing that. Keep spreading the positivity. Help those that need the help, like you've been doing. And God bless you for it. I love you for it, man. That's just who you are,
too, brother. Yeah.
So and well, you know my last question.
Yeah.
So I'm in the I'm on a bit of a winning streak here, but I think I'm still in the minority with does pineapple belong on the pizza, buddy?
All right, so I'm gonna fall back on your buddy Scott Hayward.
Oh, I knew you'd go that direction.
I loved his answer because it's not exactly a yes or no. It is absolutely it does, but it is seasonal. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
in a dead of winter in Winnipeg when it's minus 40. Yeah,
not so much.
Yeah, you don't want to pineapple on your pizza, but it was like he said, it's a hot sunny day. You're out on the patio with some microbrew, drinking a nice IPA. Hell yeah, throw some pineapple on my pizza.
You won't believe how many people have approached me about Scotty's answer.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
And you know what else goes good with pineapple on pizza? Jalapeno. Because then you get that heat and the sweet on the pizza. Heat, sweet, salty. It hits all those nice receptors in your taste buds. Why do you hate it so much, Val?
I just am, I don't know. I just contradicting textures, maybe.
Have you ever had a pineapple ring on a burger?
Yes.
And was it horrifying?
Well, the burger. Well, you're talking beef texture versus a cheese and sauce and pepperoni and listen.
It's still same thing. You got meat. You don't
get this temple from not eating that kind of food, right? So, like. I listen, brother. I go to work. I go to the gym in the mornings there, and like my wife goes, you know what? If you actually ate right, you'd be a rock star. I'm just like, I know, but I just God damn, I like this food so much, right? So
I know, me too.
Brother, I'm with
You
you.
and
Well,
me
listen,
both.
thanks for answering that. And yes, Scott's answer lives on to be legendary.
Heck yeah.
Scott's legend. He's a legendary individual too. So he's come to know him over the last few years, and the man is just, he is a very patient individual. As it's kind of like yourself, brother. He's wealth of knowledge. Once you tap into it, it's an overflowing keg. So keep that up, and keep spreading that to everybody that needs to kind of hear it from you. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, appreciate you too, bud.
So on that note, Sean, muchas gracias for coming on board. Enjoy
nada.
back the Northwest. I guess we'll see you at one of the upcoming shows or another, whether it's going to be HAC or someplace out west.
Oh, yeah, HAC's coming up fast, isn't it?
I'll get the first round on it. But brother, thanks for coming on to VMRO.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Val. Keep up the good work. Loving the show.
Thanks, brother.
Loving it.
If you like this, and if you like any other of our shows, please hit subscribe or like, and leave a comment. And it keeps us bringing great guests like Sean on to future shows. So to that, I say thanks, and thanks for listening to Vertical MRO, and see you soon. Stand by for a message after a word from our sponsors.
Thank you to our sponsor, Solace Aviation. For comprehensive maintenance, repair, and overhaul services, Solace provides in-house expertise, world-class technology, and certifications to service the global aviation market. Excellence starts with Solace. Find out more at www.salusaviation.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Precision Aviation Group. Mission-critical operators and fleet managers rely on Precision Aviation Group as a worldwide leading rotor and fixed-wing MRO provider. PAG provides tip-to-tail solutions in 4 MRO segments: avionics, components, engines, and manufacturing DER services. A single point of contact gives you access to over 150 million in inventory globally, 24/7. Just call 800-537-2778. Precision Aviation Group. Others sell parts. We sell support.
The Vertical MRO podcast is powered by Vertical Magazine, the rotorcraft industry's #1 trusted multimedia resource. Visit Vertical Mag Media on YouTube to gain access to exclusive videos featuring operators in the field and more unique content from the pages of Vertical. Subscribe today to stay informed and inspired.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Vertical MRO. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Sean Sinclair, the business owner of Maximus Air Limited. Sean's extensive experience in the helicopter industry and his commitment to providing honest and economical parts for Bell and Airbus fleets truly exemplify the spirit of innovation and customer service in MRO. If you found value in today's discussion, be sure to hit subscribe and share this podcast with you and your colleagues and your fellow copter enthusiasts. We invite you to join us next time as we continue to explore the latest trends and insights from the world of maintenance, repair, and operations. Until then, keep those rotors turning and may you fly in blue skies. This is Vertical MRO. Val, over and out.
This has been the Vertical MRO Podcast. Join us next time for another edition of the Vertical MRO Podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts.